Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Yanks dead, who cares? We got people changing lumber, and speaking of lumber, Trevor Plouffe. Let's talk ball. All-Stars?
I'm a golfer now, sorry.
All skeins. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Brought to you by SeatGeek, code TALKIN10. Go check it out. I'm Jake Storielli. He is Trevor Plouffe. And Trev, I know you're already, the T levels are flying. It is Big Baby David's birthday. So it's a celebration of sorts. You guys, from everything I know, coming off doing the same activities all weekend. We'll talk about that later in the episode. Before we get into ball, I mean, Will Smith's 3 home runs. Wilson Contreras is changing bats. We've got all-stars. James Wood, my God. Yankees. We're going to the All-Star game, Trev. I'm on a plane week from yesterday.
Yes.
Week from yesterday down to Dallas, Texas. We're going to be doing some stuff at the Home Run Derby, but we're hosting our JM All-Star event again. It's Tuesday. Before and during the game, we have a VIP session. We're doing some trivia, giveaways, live talking baseball, and then we hang out. I think we're going to have some ping pong there, a couple cervezas, burnt out, tired Trev from keeping up all weekend. I was at the CAA party, and then it's me, Manfred, and Griffey. Sucking down Coronas. If you're in the Dallas area or you're going to the game, shop.johnboymedia.com. Come to our event. It's a lot of fun. Trev, what you got, Pop?
It is. I think it's the best event that we do all year. The community that, shows up to these things is awesome because it's a bunch of just baseball dudes and girls. Like we just hang out, talk shop, rub elbows, like you said, have a few pops, watch the game. And what's better than that? The venue's amazing, and for some reason, Jake, I don't really get hyped up for all-star games too often. I think this is gonna be a good game this year. The rosters, I like the rosters. Few snubs on my Twins, that's okay. But Skeen's being in there does something for me. I'm interested in it this year.
Jeff Passan yelling for Skeens to get the start. Hey, I love.
What's up with that?
I love passion. I don't know.
What's your agenda? Jeff.
Ooh, okay. Maybe his agenda is that the Pirates have the best starters ERA since June 1st, or whatever the stat is on our doc. And I don't know. Ambassador Passan, trying to show off the stars. And I kind of get it. For me, it's a little too close to Ellie from last year, but Skeens has been doing it, as my guy Trevor Plouffe would say. Did the Pirates make that trade yet? Trev, there's a lot of good ball to be covered. It's sad loss season. Couple teams had some ugly ones. Besides my Yanks, the Reds had a real tough one. Snakes DBacks had arguably game of the year on Friday. It's a little bit, we're entering heartbreak season, man.
We got Chris Young come out and saying the Rangers are going to sell, barring a drastic turnaround. What'd they do?
And what'd they do?
What'd they do, Chris? Don't be talking like that in the media, GM. Just kidding. He's awesome.
He's awesome. He's tall. I mentioned SeatGeek off the rip. It's still code TALKIN10. And that's if you've used a discount code before or after with them. 10% off any tickets at SeatGeek. Maybe you're going to All-Star Freakend. Maybe your team's sad, like in New York, and you're going to see a concert. It doesn't have to be ball, but it's SeatGeek. Wherever seats are sold.
If you're sad with your team, go see a comedy show to make you happy.
Right. Life's about balance. And find it on the SeatGeek app, code TALKIN10. Download it. Monday, Interleague. Trev, the foundation of the sport is built on Yankees, Red Sox, baseball. And boy, oh boy, did we get a show Friday night. The Yankees, they take a 3-0 lead. Red Sox kind of gave it to them. Missed turn double play. But it's 3-1 into the ninth. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Masataka Yoshida, that sinker ran a little too much. And then Rafaelo ran one out in the park in extras. That was back-breaking. Yankees, they put up a big point number behind rookie Ben Rice. A 3-homer day, never been done in Yankee history. So here's the rubber match. Sunday Night Baseball, a pitcher's duel between Heel and Cutter Crawford. Don't pitch to Rafi Devers. Don't pitch to that man. Your boy Talkin didn't even really, and Devers still got there. He's a sick puppy, and the Red Sox playing some of the best baseball. Yankees playing some of the worst. The Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins, maybe a couple playoff Tims. What happened on their Friday night? Astros put up a 13 spot. Twins make it interesting late. What was it? 7 runs in the ninth. They came up a run short, 13-12. Your boy Joey Loperfido. Oh, what a catch. Barehanded action over the wall, brought it back. But then these Minnesota Twins and Jose Miranda. What, Trev? 12 straight at-bats from the hit? From the hit, what? Looking like us playing blitzball, setting records, and of course, you called it, Christian Vasquez walk-off homer to get them the series lead. I want to hear about Brooks Lee, Willie Castro snubbed, question mark? Rangers, you mentioned them off the rip. Are they done? Are they finished? They sweep the Rays. How do you like that? Michael Lorenzen with another shut piece. Corey Seager with a couple big games in this series. Rangers starting pitching from Lorenzen to Heendog to Nate Dogg Evaldi. They get the job done. And a little late comeback in that second game. Tough loss. It's tough loss season for the Rays. Just when they got above 500, they're now 2 below. The Toronto Blue Jays, they take 2 out of 3 from Seattle. We got 3 one-run games. Luis Castillo's got a new slider grip. Great. Just when I was starting to pick it up out of his hands. They win that first game 2-1. But Toronto, Yariel Rodriguez, 6 innings, 1 hit. Thick Alejandro Kirk with a 3-hit day. And then George Springer, that power swing is back. They get it done in extras in that final game. Seattle, they've been playing bad ball. Guard Dogs take 2 out of 3 from San Francisco. Maybe that seems obvious, but Giants have been winning a lot of baseball games. 8 out of 11. Our guy, Elliot Ramos, all-star Elliot Ramos. Remember who brought him to your radar first? It was Trevor Goof. They lose the next 2 games because they were playing the Guardians in Cleveland. They took down my guy, Hayden Birdsong. You know how much that hurts me deep inside. Bo Naylor with the big pinch hit, 3-run home run. Stephen Kwan, incredible. And your final AL game, Baltimore and Oakland. Oakland kind of stole the highlight with that 19 runs on the board in that second game. Rooker, Schumann, Andujar, Langeliers, Brett Harris, Nevin McCann. Only problem is Orioles won the 2 games around it. Trev's Albert Suarez with 6 innings pitched. My Anthony Santander with a home run in that final game. Orioles take the bread games. That's what happened in the American League. I'll snap.
Incredible, Pop.
I'll snap for me.
Incredible.
You have the standings.
I do. I have them up right now because it is Monday after 4th of July weekend. I am going to start in the American League Central because that's where this is baseball, people. Okay. It starts in the Central. Cleveland, they just keep winning baseball games. Pinch hits, back end of our bullpen. We have 7 high leverage guys. Whatever. Cleveland 56-32 at the top of the division, 6 games ahead of my Twins, 51-39. They're actually calling Target Field the Lake now. So my job here is done. Behind them, 3 games back of the Twins now. Kansas City Royals. Sneaky bad June. Sneaky bad start to July. They're 49-43 people. Behind them, the Tigers, they look like they're going to be sellers. 42-48. And then the White Sox, 40 games under 500. They're 26 and 66. We'll move out east, Jake. Baltimore, 57 and 33. They have a 3-game lead now over your New York Yankees. We're 55 and 37. Boston kind of creeping up on you guys at 49 and 40. They're playing banger ball. They're in Beantown. Tampa Bay Rays, like you mentioned, 2 games under 500 now at 44 and 46. And then Toronto win the series, but 41 and 49, 16 games back. Out west, Seattle still holding on to the division lead because my Twins took care of Houston. 49 and 43 at the top of the division. Houston 2 games back at 46 and 44. And then it's the Rangers, who supposed to be sellers, but maybe they'll go on a streak here. They're 42 and 48. The Angels 37 and 52, and Oakland 34 and 58. Now in the wild card, Yanks and Twins have the first 2 spots. In Boston, 1.5 games up on Kansas City for that 3rd spot. Houston sitting 3.5 games back. And then it's Tampa, Texas, Detroit, Toronto at the end there in the wild card race. And those are the American League standings.
I mean, just as good. That's you and me. That's Willie Stargell and Clemente.
Yep. Roy Campanella.
That was Yuck and Ball. Thanks for tuning in. Trev, in the American League, I won't be scared. Let's do it. Red Sox, Yanks. Sunday Night Baseball. The rivalry. Red Sox fans. Oh, Yankees fans told us there wouldn't be any rivalry games this year. Man, when you're losing and times are tough, to have what happened Friday night is as brutal as it gets. I will tell people, hey, if you like drinking some Yankees tears or want to get some real in-depth thoughts, talking Yanks last night, we went ham on that. I think a little over an hour and a half of a lot of thoughts. And maybe the story is, so it doesn't have to be Yankees, is the Boston Red Sox are playing a lot of winning baseball against a lot of good teams, getting it done at end of series on Sundays, 14-1 on Sundays this year. Maybe that matters. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's good pitching in Rafael Devers, but the Boston Red Sox firmly in the playoffs. Your 3rd best team in the AL a couple weeks ago, and I scoffed. And they've been playing great, man.
They just have such a good roster construction. I know I've said that plenty, but they're versatile, and speed, athleticism, power. You got your guy Devers anchored in the middle of the lineup, a bunch of freaking young dudes around him getting the job done. It's a pretty brand of baseball. I was actually watching on Friday night. I was at an Irish pub. I ordered a glass of Cabernet at an Irish pub. You think it was good? It wasn't.
Been there, yeah. That's a mistake.
It wasn't a good order by me. So that's on me. That's on me. But I saw the Yoshida homer against Holmes. He doesn't give up homers. I have a theory about that a little bit, and I don't know how this is going to go over. But, I think we can all agree, like, guys that come over from Japan just have different swings and, like, different, approaches to the game of baseball. They grew up playing it differently. And I feel like when a guy is, like a guy like Holmes, who, throws a heavy sinker, who, doesn't necessarily give up homers on that. The Japanese swing is just different. Like, I know that was up. It wasn't where he wanted it to be. But Yoshida's able to lift that ball. And I don't know how many people are able to lift that ball. Running away from you like that. Anyways, he ties it up. Then I was out of the corner. I was like, did they just hit another one? And that was Rafaela doing it. And the stadium at that point looked like the air got absolutely sucked out of it. Friday night, day after 4th of July. I'm sure it was packed for the rivalry series. And yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, a good answer back on Saturday by the Yanks. You can say that. Then you have the Sunday night game, and here we are, losing the series. Yeah,
I mean, a little bit of it's back to the offense. I mentioned those 3 runs the Yankees scored on Friday. Could have been a turn double play, which would have been 0 runs for the Yankees. That's the only inning they scored. And then they get shut out against Cutter Crawford, who, hey, Cutter's been really solid the past 2 seasons now. His pitch count was at, I think it was 40 pitches through 6 innings.
Like 40 through 5 and 68 through 7.
Crazy. And I guess you could point a good thumbs up at him and a bad one at the Yanks lineup. But right now they're not getting a lot of help around Judge and Soto. This was part of the problem last year, minus Soto not being involved. But yeah, they haven't won their last 7 series going back to the first Red Sox series. And man, the vibes are down. This is 3 straight years that, okay, you can have a funk. Every team's going to have a funk in baseball, but to have them be this dark, this is bad. I don't know, man. There's something in the water there that's not right.
Well, this year the contrast of the ups and downs is crazy. It is literally peaks and valleys. It's not like a rolling. We're gonna go up and down throughout the season. I mean, you guys were riding the best record in baseball, feeling like absolute kings at the beginning of the season, and it took like an absolute just a nosedive. Yeah. Like that. What's that door at the Vale that you kick the people out of and they just die?
The moon door.
Yeah, that's the moon door. That's you guys just got kicked out the moon door. What happened there? That's And I guess I got to take an L here because when I said Yankee fans are overreacting after a couple of games, looks like you guys were right.
6-16 in their last 22. It's nuts. And I mean, there's some positives, like Garrett Cole gets another start under his belt. It wasn't perfect, but it was like a hot, laborious outing that you got to get that done with. Luis Gil bounces back. But it's the lineup, and man, things are already loud. They're gonna get loud quick. This is 3 straight years. They need help. Their whole infield could get a boost. That it's gonna be a very interesting trade deadline. And meanwhile, the Sox, they play so fun and with such blood in the water, especially against the Yankees, that they're getting some bodies back eventually. Like, when's Casas coming? And I think their front office said they still don't know what they're going to do at the deadline. I'll tell you what, you better figure it out and do something good, because otherwise, like, Cora is happily letting his contract expire at the end of the year. I think he's looking for them to act like the Boston Red Sox. But I don't know. That'll be interesting, but that's for another day, because they're...
Well, the Red Sox typically play like better when they're ugly, right? Like that's what we talk about. Ugly Red Sox.
Bad
so
beards.
They picked up Tim Hill. That helps out. That for sure.
He's ours. Yeah.
You guys have Tim Hill. I thought the Red Sox.
I know. Tim Hill wishes he was a Red Sox.
That's on me, people. Sorry, Tim. I think actually, you could be attractive.
Interesting.
Anyways, we have to talk about Devers because we're not talking about him later in the show.
Okay.
An absolute
That's fine.
pillar of consistency at the plate, especially when we're talking about Garrett Cole. These numbers. So I was thinking about this today as I'm looking at these numbers. It's still one of the biggest rivalries in the sport, whether you want to call it that or not. Red Sox, Yankees, it's big, it's dramatic, it's all these things you want it to be. If you're a Red Sox, you just want to beat the Yankees. Doesn't matter how the season's going. To be able to be the guy against the guy in the rivalry is so fun. Dude, he's hitting .333 with a .974 and 8 homers against Garrett Cole. This is Garrett Cole, people.
Yeah.
This is Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
How fun is that? I don't know what's a good comparison for that, like in other sports, someone dominating the other star. I don't know. You tell me, people, because this is incredible to be able to do that. You got to feel like King Kong.
Is it Lou Dort shutting down Brandon Ingram? I don't know. I think people would say no.
Okay.
No, he's I think the scary thing is Rafi's like picking up steam. It was an 872 OPS in April, 919 in May, 1.015 in June, and currently 1.3 in July. I said it on All JM. I think he is going to be the All JM third baseman coming up. We'll see what J-Ram has to say about that, but he's a special ball player. Not a lot of guys can hit like that.
Let's keep it with Thrones here. It'd be like if the Vipers, instead of dancing, just ended the mountain
Oh, okay. Yeah.
instead of
Oh, yes.
being an idiot.
Yes. The Yankees are, cut scene.
Yeah.
End the episode. And no spoilers, of course.
No spoilers.
Spoil this Twin Stro series for me, Trev, because I'll let you cook.
It's been, the Twins offense is since like the beginning of May has been probably the best offense in baseball, which is crazy for me to even wrap my head around, but it's been long. It's been great. We'll talk about Jose Miranda a little bit later. I was gonna make a joke right there. First game was wild. I mean, a crazy comeback for the Twins at the end. Correa with the grand slam. Hader comes in, gives it the granny, but then strikes out Margot, like kind of like anticlimactic as he's like the tying run, nobody on base, and just swings at a 50-foot slider. But Astros came out and banged the ball around the park. And then it was the Twins that did that against Hunter Brown, man. Brooks Lee has his first homer against him. Joe Ryan does enough, and Miranda keeps his streak going, so they get that victory. And they do just enough the last day. Simeon Woods has looked really good.
Give me the Brooks Lee player comp that makes me go, ooh.
Brooks Lee player comp. Honestly, like, I know you love Ryan McMahon, like kind of like Ryan McMahon.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I could see that.
Sure.
I don't know how high to be on him just yet. I got to see some ball.
Yeah.
But I've seen Ryan McMahon. Like my impression, just so everyone knows, right now my impression of Ryan McMahon is very, very high.
Yeah.
So that's who I would give it to him right now.
Future Yankee.
Future Yankee. Yeah.
Hey, good on Minnesota, Trev. I told you last step, maybe 2 eps ago, like I'm not busting balls. I'm a lineup dude, and their lineup has been crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. A couple guys hit by pitches in this series. Miranda took one, Correa took one, Altuve took one. I believe even like Alvarez had to come out of a game in this. It was kind of a messy series, but Twins take 2 out of 3 against a good team. They keep it going. Now they host the White Sox tonight. Like they're kind of firing, man.
And always talking baseball shout out. I feel like we did the story and probably people don't know. Go look up John Singleton's whole story. Like his wife Lindsay, huge fan of the show, and we love her. He's like, if there's a righty on the mound, he's playing first base, and he's been hitting lately. That's really cool. I mean, missing from the game from 2015 to 2023. And now he's playing for the Astros, who we'll probably see in October.
Yeah. Vasquez with the walk-off in the last game. He's actually, like, his numbers have been pretty good. It was probably one of the worst offensive players in all of baseball through May 20th. And then since then, he's hitting 260, 3 bombs, 10 ribbies. Hasn't really been doing anything different. He's kind of like quieted down a little bit, starting to use the whole field, but that's kind of like normal adjustments. He just, he's putting the barrel on the ball, and some good things are happening. So I guess he has 3 walk-off hits, all homers. He's a good dude. Good dude. Yeah. Always, even when he was struggling, same attitude, which you like. That's like one of the most important things for a ball player.
It's coming around. I'll tell you who my friends on the West Coast, I'm a Pacific Northwest guy.
There you are.
Thank you. You're welcome that my Yankees are covering up your stink, because the Mariners haven't won their last 6 series. Not only have the Astros been sneaking up, and shout out to your Twins for getting their work in, Seattle drops it to Toronto after winning the first game. Sick Dalton Varsho catch, speaking of haven't been seen in the same room. But the Mariners, I don't know. I feel like we haven't talked about it a lot. It's been more so in the AL. Yankees stink. Astros are coming. And Mariners have been just as big a part of that.
Yeah, I mean, again, they could have given up the division lead this weekend if it wasn't for the Twins. They could have been tied if the Astros had swept, but it's kind of like more of the same story for them. I don't know how many times we can say it. Like over the 3-game set, how many runs do they score? 9 runs. You're averaging 3 runs a game. You're just not going to get it done. You mentioned in the last game, big homer there by Springer. Then your guy, Short King Varsho with the go-ahead knock. Blue Jays bullpen gets it done. The pitching's been good. Yeah, I mentioned Castillo's new slider grip. He says it took a little bit of velo off of it, and that's all you're trying to do as a pitcher is disrupt timing. So you have your fastball. If you have like a fastball and a slider, and they're in the same timing range, it's easier to adjust. But now if he's throwing 3 different pitches in 3 different timing levels, it's just not that he freaking needed that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right, but it's also, I don't know, it's
You love that. You love if you're a Mariners fan and you're like, oh, our starting pitching's been this good, and we're just like trying to continue to get better. It's music to your ears. Now you're just looking for someone to step up offensively.
And it's if you watch baseball, you hear all the time about the adjustments and the league adjusts and you got to adjust back. Like, in fact, Luis Castillo's tinkering with his slider means whoever your player on your team you're looking at and you're like, hey, maybe we should be tinkering. Maybe they should be. But yeah, I don't know. Toronto and Texas Rangers do enough this weekend to keep the ship afloat. And I love my guy George Springer keeps hitting home runs. I was about to when Correa was going nuts and
Is the ship afloat?
Texas's feels oddly somewhat afloat just because of last year. Toronto, I think they're fibbing to themselves, but it's not completely underwater. How many engine rooms in the Titanic? What was there, like 5? You needed 3 to be flooded? I forget. I haven't watched it in a minute.
I have no idea.
Jimmy's been in in our live lounge. We've got the 6 TVs there.
I saw that.
Jimmy's been in a TV era. There was a lot of Baywatch on 2 weeks ago, which I don't know. There's some scenes in there that feel like there wasn't an Office show. And then Titanic was on. They went every screen. And then there was that classic old moment where a lot of the youngs hadn't seen that movie, and it was just like, God damn it.
That's insane.
I mean, think about it.
People went and saw that movie 7 times in the theater. Like,
it's a big deal.
It was a big deal, but it is old.
I think it was
When did it come out? Let me guess. 90, 98?
I think those were the first rosin bags I saw.
About to say, I think they're a lot of people's first.
Kate Winslet's boobies, huh?
Okay. I mean, I didn't say that.
That's what you were referencing.
It sure was. It sure was.
We could recreate that. See me and you. I'll draw you.
All-Star game coming up.
For the Mariners, your off-season additions haven't been good.
Striking out.
Right.
Barrios, 10 Ks.
But Polanco it's been tough. He hasn't played a ton of games, but when he has played, 565 OPS. Haniger and Garver, Garver has I think he had a big homer this series, but it's 93 OPS plus. Then Julio, like, we said the same thing about the Mariners every episode over the last month or so. I don't know, man.
Know what they need to do? Call the geeks in Cleveland that removed their bleachers and made their field a wind tunnel. Like, every hitter that goes to Seattle, like, who's having a good time? Like, let's find a jet wave and drive the ball to right center or something like that,
Put some fans somewhere. Okay.
We need something, bro. It's
But other teams go there and score runs, don't they? I guess what's the park factor? We'll see.
What's the park? Oh, off the top of my head, Seattle's park factor? Go fuck yourself.
No, let's guess. Let's guess at the show.
I just brought it up. The 1 year batting is 91.
Okay.
Multi-year is 94. I don't know, dude. You're a hitter. If you got traded to Seattle, I don't think it's a place you would have been hyped to be traded to.
My numbers are very
That's
bad.
right. It's like your worst place.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Okay. Maybe change the batters up.
Why is the park factor 91 batting, 91 pitching? Whose park is it?
Yeah, I don't.
That's a good point.
I'm not going to lie to the people.
Does that mean you have good pitching? They're good starting pitching, so the pitching is
As for
I don't
this
know. Let's
year,
just
they're
move on.
pitching to their.
We're getting into stuff that we shouldn't be.
I'm not the biggest park factor nerd. Although I know what's going on in Cleveland is crazy.
Oh, that might be a good number for pitchers. I digress.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be honest. Guards, Giants, I don't have much to add. A little bit of good team, mid-team, although the Giants came in kind of warm in Cleveland. Cleveland flexes off what they do between the bullpen, Nailers, Quan. And then the other, probably the final storyline, the Rangers, like we talked about, whatever Titanic they're on, feels like they got a good update. Like, hey, we contained it to 2 engines. We're okay
I
for
like
now.
that. Okay, now I see what you're saying. Guardians continue to do what they do. Give them a lead, or just get the lead in the late innings, and you're going to win the baseball game. The bullpen has just been absolutely fantastic for them. So whether you have Bo Naylor hit the pinch hit, go ahead homer in the 6th, the game's over at that point. Or you score a bunch of runs and take an early lead, and your starter can give you a little bit of depth, kick it to the bullpen. That's the formula there. And we're gonna be talking about a few more, or at least one more Guardian later on in the show. And yes, congratulations to Elliot Ramos, All-Star.
Oh God, I just remind me to tell you later in the show. Yeah, I think we keep it moving and shaking because there's a lot to it's a thick National League. And I guess I'll tell you right now, Cole Tucker, we were just chatting, our guy, asked for Jess's phone number, and I was like, well, easy.
And you gave it to him right away.
Yeah, I gave it to him immediately.
And I obliged.
And then he said, he's like, oh, nice, I want a little text thread for her and V. There's a baby gift, whatever. The media already ruined that. And then being me, I was like, oh, I'm going to send Cole a threesome gif, and don't type that into your phone if you don't want the business.
What are you gonna send him?
Because I was thinking about that tennis movie where the kids are banging, and thought it would be a little more tasteful. It was not.
Okay.
Let's do some NL. God, it's thick. Starts out NL Beast, the Phillies. They host the Braves. They take game 1. Nola outduels Fried. Trey Turner show. 2-homer day at the office, but then it's Braves after that. Ranger Suarez with a couple bad starts now. Not Reynaldo Lopez. He just keeps on keeping on, man. What's that guy's deal? Braves shut him out in the final game. They hold the Phillies to 1 run over the last 2 games. And Brian Snitker, how's your dick? Ozzy Albies foul ball right to the old man's biscuits. Tough. That's a man. Dodgers and Brewers, future NLCS preview. Couple of those. Phillies, Braves, Brewers, Dodgers. Dodgers win the series. They take the first 2 games behind All-Star Tyler Glass now. Will Smith, how's your 3-homer day? You might hear more about that. Trev, Miguel Vargas, quick hands. My God.
I like the swing.
Like that a lot. Will Smith homers again on that second game. Shohei Ohtani, welcome to the 2020 club. It's early July. Brewers salvage it on the last day. Yelich with a 3 RBI day. Same with Blake Perkins and Dallas Keuchel. 0 earned runs, 0 Ks, 5 walks. Future baseball. My Snakes and the Padres, they played a wild one out in San Diego. That Friday night game, Snakes come back late. 2 home runs. Alec Thomas, grand slam. Randall Grichuk, pinch hit, 2-run yacker. What do the Padres do? Profar ties it. Manny walks it off. We've got a fan on the field. We don't support that in this house. We do support the DBacks, scoring 3 in the 10th after a back-and-forth battle to win that second game. And then the D-backs, Eugenio Suarez with the big 2-run shot to take the lead. D-backs get up to 500. Hello. Mets and Pirates. They're doing a reach-around series where the Pirates, they ran out of fireworks. 7 home runs. Brian Reynolds and Rowdy Tellez, my guy and my guy, hitting 4 home runs. both with salamis in there. Paul Skeens happened to pitch that game. Hell of a day to be in Pittsburgh, huh? Not so much the next two. Grimace? Frankie Lindor, everyone's biggest all-star snub so far, with a 3-hit day. Jose Iglesias with RBIs and a hit song. They'll finish it off today. The St. Louis Cardinals also with the wraparound. Cardinals win a Cardinals baseball game, 7-6-11. The game-winning run on a Riley Adams pass ball. We don't love that. We love Wilson Contreras changing bats and hitting, though. Along with James Wood in that second game. Gets his first homer to the opposite field. But the Cardinals won that final game. I mentioned Willie. The Nolans, Gorman and Arenado, they'll wrap it up today. Cubs and Angels. Cubs win a series, though. They take the bread games. Justin Steele says, I'll do it myself. Complete game, his first win this season. Angels roll him in that second game. Colton Brewer breaks his hand after a frustrating inning. Tyler Anderson, trade bait. But Cubbies get it done. Hayden Wesneski, Michael Busch cracks one. The Detroit Tigers sweep the Cincinnati Reds. Almost disappointing on both sides. Besides Tarek Skubal, still chasing down. I guess Tigers fans were happy, but Tarek Skubal chasing that Cy Young with 7 innings, 1 earned run. Colt Keith, I feel like he's been homering a lot. He hits 2 homers in that first game. He's been balling out lately. Hunter Green's outing gets waste. That was the brutal loss in Game 2 as the Tigers scored a bunch in the 8th inning. Jack Flaherty, all-star snub. The pitchers figure it out, though. Rockies take 2 out of 3 from the Royals. Oh, no, baby, what is you doing? Rockies win the first 2. Royals salvage it on the last day. Marlins took 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Hey, good for you, Drew Thorpe and Johnny Cannons, but otherwise, we're out. Give me some standings.
You're incredible. Colt Keith, you're right, though, Coach.
Yeah.
Hitting last 28 days.
When it clicks.
We'll talk about him in a little bit. Like that swing, that finish is nice. And because it's Monday, of course, we're starting in the Central, where Milwaukee, the Brewers, have a 5-game lead on the Cardinals. They are 53-38. St. Louis, 47-42. Take that, Ollie Marmol haters. I'm not on your side. I like him. Then Pittsburgh, 42-47. They were going for a while. They were going to be adding, but are they going to be adding? That could have been a lie. Could have been a lie. News cycle's fast. No one will remember that. Cincinnati, 42-48, just a half game behind the Pirates. And then the Cubs, 42-49. So they're all jumbled up there right at the bottom of the NL Central. We'll go out west where the Dodgers have a 7.5 game lead on the Padres. They're 55-36. Those Pods, 4 games over 500, Jake. 49-45. And Arizona taking the series from the Dodgers and the Padres back-to-back at 45-45, sitting right at 500. The Giants, 44-47, and the Rockies, 32-58. And then the NL East, my guy Trey Turner, couple bombs. Doesn't matter. Atlanta takes a series. 58-32 are the Phillies. They still have an 8-game lead over Atlanta, who's 49-39. And then it's the Mets hanging in there, 44-44. The Nationals 42-48, and then the Marlins sitting down there at 32-58. And in the wild card, Atlanta holds the top spot. St. Louis has a half-game lead on the Padres, who have the last spot in the wild card. So right now it will be Atlanta, St. Louis, and the Padres, and then right behind them, Arizona and the Mets tied 2 games back at the wild card spot. Then it's the Giants, then it's the Pirates, then it's the Reds, and so on and so forth. And those are the standings in the National League.
Nothing short of magnifico.
Oh.
Trevor craving a Corona right now. Let's do some Philly Braves quick. I'm interested to see. These two play division rivals. We've seen them play a lot the past couple years. We're still short, a couple guys in Philly's lineup that I'm wondering how the Braves are taking this. Dominant 2 victories after dropping the first game. I talk a lot about the going into the All-Star break juice. If you're the Phillies, the last thing coming out of this, you don't want people in Dallas saying, "Oh, yeah, they dropped their last like 7 out of 12." Well, maybe the Braves again having a great season, but slightly underachieving for what we thought. Man, I don't know. I know we've talked about him a lot this year. Ronaldo Lopez, what the hell? Has he already like made up his contract?
He's been absolutely crushing it. Guys can't hit his fastball or his slider or his curveball.
It's a good mix.
He's got a 15 positive run value on the four-seamer, 7 on the slider, 5 on the curveball. The slider has been kind of like he's made a big adjustment with his slider. It's been a lot better than it was last year. People are slugging 231 on it as opposed to 395 last year. So that's a nice little help. But yeah, Braves are coming. I think this is a nice series for them. Obviously, they know they have a lot of work to do to catch the Phillies, and there's still time for that. But to take 2 out of 3 at home in front of your crowd, especially after losing the first game, that's a nice little series. It's really all about the pitching. Trey Turner got to Max Fried in the first game, and then it was Schwellenbach, your guy. You got him in your book. Had a nice start. Then you mentioned Lopez doing it as well. So nice to see the Braves offense kind of coming to life. 4 homers in that last game. Ozuna continuing to do what he's doing. Albies with 3 RBIs. I mean, it's a nice, clean series victory for them against a good team. A hurt team, but a good team.
A hurt team, but a good team. Hey, a guy that I don't think is getting shout out later, Tyler Phillips, big league debut. 7 strikeouts in relief, most by a Phillies pitcher ever. Broke the 123-year-old record by Bill Duggleby.
Yep.
So that was 1901. So silver lining. I guess the other, there's a few elite series, man. I got to throw you up, man. Dodgers Brew Crew. Brew Crew keep on keeping on. And these were fun games, man. Got to tune into a couple of these. I think there was an MLB Network night. The late shift a little bit. I will be talking about Will Smith later, Dodgers fans, so go easy on that. But I don't know. I mean, high-level NL baseball, arguably, well, I was going to say the 2 best teams. 2 of the top 3 best teams throughout the first half of the season.
Absolutely. I love this note on the sheet from Dalt talking about Vargas. You mentioned his quick hands. There is some rumblings about why he's not getting more plate appearances. Only 20 ABs since being called up on the 17th. This is from Juan Toribio. He calls it controversial because the other guys are struggling, whether it's Biggio, whether it's Chris Taylor, whether it's Kike. Vargas has done really well in the at-bats that he's gotten, so you expect, you get rewarded for that. He's hit 400 with 2 homers and 4 RBIs in those 20 at-bats. Chris Taylor 150 with 7 Ks in his last 20 at bats. Biggio hasn't hit a homer in any of his at bats with the Dodgers. Kike's down as well there during the season, so it'll be interesting to see what they do to lengthen their lineup out a little bit. But that's just what they need, right? Another guy down there that they have control over for 6 years that can hit.
It's also, hey, let us know in the comments. It's also it's the veteran cooked season / give the kid a shot season right now across baseball. So I'd love to know on each team where is that conversation happening. But yeah, Miguel Vargas, if his swing is like that, because the way he kind of stands over the plate, he's almost inviting that inside pitch, but he's there. I don't know. It was quick hands, and yeah, his numbers have been great. That tough not to play that guy. Hudson gets clipped by Shohei and Vargas.
Shohei's homer. I'm fresh off a weekend of golf, so excuse my analogy here. But when you flush like a 4 or a 5 iron,
yeah,
but you hit it the way it's supposed to be hit. That's what that was. That was unbelievable. The ball comes off his bat different. You mentioned 2020 already.
It's tough because I love golf, Trev. I mean, it gets me going a little bit. I actually think I might be sneaking out tomorrow. We'll see. Working on some things. Yeah, but at the same time, I do hate. I mean, I guess that just means we're becoming old, because that's every That's every old show. It just gets brought up on golf.
The golf?
Yeah. It just does.
I don't really even like golf that much. I just went on a golf trip. That's why.
Not too bad.
We'll talk more about my golf game maybe later in the show.
I've got, hey, for both of these fan bases, I'll be talking about a respective player. I've already given away Will Smith. I'll get to something else later. Trev, I keep saying high-level baseball. Snakes and the Padres. The NL West is fun. The NL West is coming, and yeah, Friday night had an argument for game of the night. Diamondbacks have a few numbers here that they are. It seems like they've turned the corner. This isn't exactly how baseball works, but their 2 losses in an 8-game stretch, both blown by Paul Sewald late. So in theory, if Paul Sewald had closed those games, we could be talking about a potential 8-game winning streak for the Snakes. Not how the sport works. We are talking about them having back-to-back series wins against division rivals. And both these teams are playing just like good baseball, like
fun,
daunting, fun baseball.
Yeah, I'm happy the DBacks are doing what they're doing because I kind of wrote them off a little bit. I was like, are they going to sell? I know they just came off a World Series appearance. They added in the offseason, but things weren't looking good for them. You could do like a mini little sell-off, but no. They're right in the thick of things. They feel good about where they are. And you're right, they played against 2 really good teams that are hot and won the series against both of them. The first game was nuts. That fuck was down there. Randall Grichuk. With a pinch hit go-ahead homer. And then Sewald just left some balls over middle. I mean, the pitch that Profar hit, middle. Then I think it was an 0-2 pitch to Machado. Slider kind of backed up on him. And a lot of times we'll say it's the best pitch in baseball is a backup slider. But man, he opened those freaking hips up.
Not to that guy.
That was a fun one. I mean,
yeah.
Largest crowd in Petco history. 47,171 people there to watch that. You're almost like, if you're a Snakes fan, yeah, it sucks. But just the spectacle of it. Packed house, give up the lead, air is out of the stadium. Then all of a sudden, the 2 guys, I mean, Profar's an all-star, and then you have Manny Machado walking it off. I mean, it doesn't really get better than that. Stop running on the field, please. We don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah, just can't trust you. And it's not
happy that you're happy, but, you know.
It's not a slight at you. But yeah, let's go easy on that. Yeah, it's winning cures everything. For the Diamondbacks, their people were questioning some of the roster stuff. McCarthy and Thomas, people have been discussing, are those 2 too similar? Do we need that? When you win games and you start playing well, it just turns into depth, and we've got options. What are they now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 9, something like that. Keep that rolling into the break. They've got a big Braves series. Braves and Jays going into the break for them.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll test her. We'll find out. Pirates Mets, I don't have too much on the series. The Pirates going nuts with all those homers was cool. Skeens making the All-Star game is kind of there's a little bit of a whoa moment, and we got the Pirates camera. I don't know if you saw that. They did Brian Reynolds. I think we got, if you don't know much about Brian Reynolds' personality, I think we saw why. He was as straightforward as it got getting his All-Star bid in front of the fellas. And then Skeens did well, too. I was interested to see what angle, but, appreciated the teammates and all that stuff. And, yeah, dude, I don't know. For the Pirates, for me, until they get the trade, I'm a little angry at them.
It was always going to be interesting because, not that there's a innings limit on any of these guys, but you'd expect there to probably be some sort of a pullback, whether it's a couple of rest days. I'm talking about like Skeens and Jones. So for their GM to come out and say they were definitely going to add, it was interesting. I think he maybe learned a lesson and hey, I probably should just say things like that unless I'm going to do them.
Right.
That's a good lesson for everybody.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't just say it unless you're going to do it. Yeah.
What's the saying? Under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
If he was I don't really know, and then bam, hits you with the trade.
Yeah.
King of the
Wow.
city.
I love
the
this
way you
guy.
do it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. They
They're-
still got another game to play today.
Yeah, that's the thing with them and Cardinals Nats. It could be a split, or it could be big series wins for the Mets and Cardinals that have been winning ball games.
Yeah, shout out Katie Wu. She actually filled in for me today on Baseball Today. Chris
Wow.
Rose thought I wasn't going to be back, so he just filled in for me. And I said, you know what, let her take it. She deserves that. She's great. I love reading her stuff. She had a great article, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, about Cardinals and what they're going to do at the deadline. They've been playing good ball as of late. I think they have one of the best records in baseball since the beginning of May. But they're right-handed hitting or a left-handed hitting offense. Like, they have a ton of lefties, and the right-handers are supposed to kind of be their guys. Talking about Goldie, talking about Arenado, maybe even a Jordan Walker who's in AAA. Those guys just haven't produced. So it's like, okay, well, how do you put right-handed bats into that lineup? The guys that are going off for you are playing well, or there's a majority of them are left-handed. And then are you going to sit Goldie? Are you going to sit Arenado? Like, how are you going to infuse this lineup with right-handed bats, which they desperately need? It'll be interesting to see what they do at the deadline. But kind of, I'm happy for them. They take 3 out of 4 and they keep rolling. I mean, Cardinals are looking good.
I asked Cardinals fans last episode. I was like, "Hey, what is that? How does it feel?" And one Cardinal fan, MTP7479, they said they're winning a lot of tight games. When they lose, they are getting blown out, so the run differential doesn't look too pretty. Not sure of the sustainability, but happy with how it's going. And for a good baseball town, I didn't know Katie Wu just infiltrated John Boy Media like that.
Yeah, she did.
Okay,
just kick me out. Yeah.
Okay, would have liked to heads up on that. Deal with that later. Nationals fans, it feels like it's slowly, that wild card kind of dream is slowly drifting away, but we're letting the kids play. And that James Wood first homer, his numbers are in a great spot early on. That I'd assume we're still enjoying this as things fall apart a little bit, but I don't know. Nobody likes to lose. 9 of the last 13 L's.
You see the go-ahead run, the passed ball swinging strike 3
Yeah.
in the first game? How often does that happen?
Not a lot. A lot of people don't like that rule.
It's an interesting thing because I feel like the catchers always make that play, no matter what. It could be like the craziest pass ball, they get to it somehow and make the play, but there was not even an attempt. And Contreras was fast out of the box, man. Okay. What a really interesting last couple innings for him. He hits the game-tying solo shot. He's pumped up. A lot of Cardinals fans in the building. He's riling them up, and then he strikes out. That's not an RBI. Just strike out and run to the base, though. There's got to be something. You got to get a positive for hustle right there.
Positive for hustle. That's
Yeah.
every gym class report card I had. And Wilson Contreras switched back from the 33.75-inch bat to the 34-inch bat. So,
what would you do with a quarter-inch extra? Maybe rule the world.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll find out one day. I'll invest in some future drugs or leg extensions or something. On the way out, Trev, struggling Royals. My Reds get swept. That one hurt me deep inside. Cubbies get some life, kind of. Whatever you want from that grab bag.
The Cubs Angels was just pitching, really. I mean, Steele, yells at the team, tries to fire him up, then he fires his first ever complete game, which was kind of awesome to see. He had it really, really working there. And then Anderson for the Angels, he was filthy. 10 Ks, no walks through 8. I mean, he's like, hey, look at me, everyone. Does anybody want me? I think you do. Basically what he just said right there. He was peacocking for the other teams right there. And then Wozniacki for the Cubs there, 6 1/3, no one runs, only 1 hit.
Tyler,
Cubs are interesting, man. They're too far out.
They're currently way too far out.
They're too far out.
Tyler Anderson, maybe in that Brewers blue and gold. Is that what they call their colors?
Yeah. Brew and gold.
Mmm.
Brew and golden. What else do you want?
Nothing really. At Tigers, I hope you're not insulted on the way past. I feel like I've somewhat given up on this team, and Riley Green is an all-star, and he kills it, and it looks like Colt Keith is turning the corner, but I hope the young guys develop, and it means more exciting things for next year, but what was a promising year, they're looking up at a lot of teams in the standings, and is there a single person out there who's being like, hey, these Tigers might sneak back in? Like, it's too little too late.
They're 7.5 back of the wild card, and they are 15 out of the division.
Let's get Jack to that All-Star game. I think that's it, Trev. I think we booked this one with Booking.com. With summer travel heating up, I mean, seriously. You start getting that summer itch. If you're not doing something, you're like, I got to go. I've seen you. For myself, Arlington, Dallas coming up, going to Boston after that. Yep. If you got some U.S. travel, Booking.com is where you want to go. Hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, so much more. Find your perfect stay. That can be all the difference. Go to your rival city, rip it up, watch your team take their souls out, have a couple
that's fun.
Good brews, local cuisine.
Be respectful.
Right, always. And at Booking.com, the official accommodations partner of Major League Baseball, you could book that on the site or in the app. Click the link. We'll see you somewhere. We're traveling. Standout performances.
Who stood out? A lot of guys stood out, but I want to give a shout out to my guy who we never talk about this team, Brent Rooker. I think a lot of people just see him as like a slugger, just
I do
catching, getting lucky, extended, hit some homers. On Saturday, he went 3 for 4 with a homer, 4 runs driven in, 3 runs scored. On the year, overall numbers are just looking really saucy. 278, 353 on base, 537 slug. He's almost at 900, Jake. 891 OPS. He's got his career OPS now over 800. He's sitting at 802. That's like the benchmark. If you're in the 8s, you're a stud. It's the bottom line. If you have an 800 OPS, you're an absolute stud. And Jake, let's think about this for a little bit. This guy loves hitting in day games. What's up with that?
Oh,
he doesn't like to sleep in. Is he excited because he gets to go to dinner after the game? What is it? Day games are not easy at the Coliseum. If you don't know, you have to battle the traffic. So usually, depending on where you're living, you might have to take the BART in. Me and Steven Vogt used to ride together a long time ago. That was in day games. Jake, 315, 390, 653 for the 1 OPS, and that's in 34 games. He's only played 8 more games at night. 42 games at night, 34 during the day. How is that possible? Is Oakland just playing a bunch of day games this year?
I mean, I guess if all your weekend games are day games.
Are they? I guess, is that what they're doing now in Oakland? I don't know what it is. Anyways, 770 OPS at night, but a 1 during the day. Go figure. 11 of his 18 home runs have also come at night. Or at the daytime, excuse me.
I don't know where the A's are really at. I mean, we kind of know, but we kind of don't. Brent Rooker is under control through 2027. One of my things is go around baseball. There's not a ton of dudes who DH really well. Like to sit on that bench, take your 4 at bats. It's not an easy gig. He's played a little bit of the corners this year too. I am hitting up Oakland on the phone for this guy. This is back-to-back years. This guy was like a very real prospect. It looks like it took a couple years to click. it looks like it's clicked in one of the toughest environments to click in. And Oakland, you're playing with house money. You got this guy off waivers. So if you can flip him into probably a couple real prospects, because with all that team control, and now we've got 2 years of data. Everyone assumed last year was a little bit fluky. He's running it back and even better at this point. So if you've got a team that, if you're looking for a right-handed bat, whether it's DH, maybe a little bit of corners, I don't know. You might have found an 800 OPS guy for the next 3 years. Like those don't grow on trees.
If he can make one small adjustment, get the strikeout percentage in line, the walk rate up a little bit. Although, it's the walk rate's above average, just the strikeout percentage is sitting at
strikes out
32.8 this year. Get that under control a little bit. The numbers will go up even higher. We're talking about maybe a diamond in the rough here. Still only 29 years old. He'll be 30 next year. Obviously, why did I say that? He's 29. He's going to be 30 next year.
Yeah,
that
good follow-up.
Doesn't need to be said.
No, that was a good follow-up.
Brent Rooker, my standout performer.
Hey, maybe I'm still just in mental hell with myself. Great stuff, Trev. Boston Red Sox. They've got a lot of lefties.
We just talked about the Cardinals eating a right-handed bat.
Sure. Love it there, too.
My quick count has the A's at 43 day games this year, which
what's that?
is so many.
That's insane.
I don't know a quick way to find out if that's the most, but that's just a huge number to just read.
Costs more to put on the lights, right?
A lot of getaway days.
Trev, great standout. There's always a lot of ways to go. People want more Wyatt Langford. People love Colt Keith. Higashioka is always on here nowadays. I'm going with America's catcher, Will Smith. 3 homer day. You're not going to get a lot of those. 3 homer days from catchers. You're really not going to get a lot of those. And I know Will Smith has become almost a running joke on this show because he has been the backup all-JM NL catcher basically for 35 months now. I don't know, man. There's just something about him that's a little unassuming, like listed 5'10", 195. All right. From Louisville, Kentucky, sure. Playing on a star-studded team in a town of stars. He got that contract extension. He's got 18 career WAR. He's got 3 WAR this year. And man, just talk about an anti-question mark. Like,
okay.
Like we've
a period.
Will Smith period.
Kind of.
He's been set it and forget it in this lineup for them. He's played his last 3 seasons, 130 games, 137, 126. Hits in an important spot in that lineup, behind all those like legendary Hall of Famers. And Will Smith consistently brings it. He has an argument. It's one of my least favorite phrases, but to be one of the most underrated players in the league for what he does. And, he's going to have something funky in his basement with that 10-year, $140 million extension. But Will Smith, I think on a team of stars, he probably doesn't get enough love. Special player.
Our guy at Mark Pryor RBW, his name's Jake, apparently. I don't know what that's about. It's on X. He was the best catcher in the NL at least through June. Smithing is, hold on. He sent me another thing.
Okay. Is this in the DMs?
Wrong tweet. No.
Okay.
He tagged us at this.
Okay.
Here we go. 2021 through 2024. This is all of baseball. F4 leaders for catchers. 16.1 Will Smith, Realmuto, 14.3 Sean Murphy, 14.1. So he's got those guys beat over the last 3 years. Weighted runs created plus, 127 for Smith. The Contreras brothers, 127, 124. The OPS also goes to Smith. And as he mentions, we've never selected him a single month for the All JM team. We say it. We don't know how it happens,
Yeah.
but it happens. Do you think Will Smith cares? He's doing fine. He likes the snubbing, and maybe that's why we do
it. Likes the snubbing.
Don't we all?
Yeah, just
Freaky.
a little bit. Just a little bit sometimes.
I like being told no sometimes if it's the right situation.
I'm not saying a lot of no's to our best segment of the show this year, brought to you by Corona Extra. If you know me and Trev at all, it's Corona Extra season. I mean, summer's here. Nothing pairs better with some baseball. Whether it's my Yanks, Trev's Twins, summer day, maybe you're poolside, maybe the sun's going down and the footwork starts kicking in a little bit with Poppy Gordo on the dance floor. It's Corona Extra season, and I can't wait to see where Trev is going in this week's FUEGO.
Dirt nasties on FUEGO. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
If you didn't know, I went to Pebble Beach this weekend, played all the courses. We played 36, which is a nightmare for me. The last hole of the day was 18 at Pebble. You played in front of a bunch of spectators who are out there drinking. Everyone's watching you as you come up. It's a big dog. They left ocean on your left. I was playing out of my mind. I walked down that dang hole. Beautiful drive. I had to lay up because I don't have anything under a 5-iron. I don't even know why because I'm an idiot. Laid up, parred it in front of everybody, walked down that menacing hole with the par. Do you know what I was walking with? True story. Corona.
Beautiful.
Anyways.
Yeah.
For the series, we just talked about Will Smith. 4 homers, 4 consecutive at-bats with a homer. First catcher to do it since 1973. Only the third catcher in history. It's Johnny Bench and Benito Santiago to do that as well. He's a stud, guys. Ozzie Albies, though. Hey, what's up, bro? Braves like this. 5 for 12, 3 homers, 4 runs driven in, 4 runs scored, a walk and a stolen base. Wilson Contreras. Hey, bud. Good to see you. Needing that right-handed bat in the lineup, like Katie Wu said. Don't you steal my job. 5 for 13, 2 homers, 6 runs driven in, 3 runs scored, 3 walks, even a stolen base in that contest against the Nationals. For the week, my guy, my doppelganger, people say, Trey Turner. We both played shortstop in the big leagues. 9 for 25, 4 homers, 2 off Max Fried, both on hangers.
That's
got extended.
tough.
Pretty nice swings. 9 runs driven in, 7 runs scored. On Friday, he became the first player to record a multi-homer game against Max Fried. So that was the first time that's ever happened. His second homer off of Max went 459, the longest homer of Trey's career. Yeah, why do those breaking balls go so far, Jake, in your experience?
You hang 'em, I bang 'em, you know?
Luis Garcia Jr. has been a fun watch all year long. This week, 10 for 20. Quick average check.
500.
Yep. Double, 3 homers, 8 runs driven in, 5 runs scored. And then Eugenio Suarez for the Arizona Diamondbacks, 8 for 19, 3 doubles, a homer, 7 runs driven in. And then 2 weeks, this is when you want to be on people. Corey Seager, what's up, dog? 16 for 42, 6 doubles, 2 homers, 8 runs driven in for the one daughter. And then Taj Bradley's just kind of like been doing his thing. They also got Shane Baz back. We didn't talk about that. He looked good in his first start back. Quality start, 6 for 3. Anyway, Taj Bradley, 3 games started over the last 2 weeks, 17 innings pitched, 10 hits, only 2 earned runs, 24 Ks in those 17 innings pitched for the 1.06 ERA. His 48 Ks since June 1st. They're the 4th most Ks in the American League, only behind Crochet, Skubal, and Garrett Cole. Oh, Cole Reagans. I didn't mean to do that. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Garrett Cole's been awful. And then last is Kevin Ginkel, the Ginks, our guy. 6 games in these 2 weeks, 1 hold, 7 2/3 innings pitched, no earned runs, no walks, 11 Ks. That's a 0 ERA and a .52 whip. Now we're going to get to my Corona and Fuego player doing things. He's just being extra out there, if you know what I mean. And it's Jose Miranda of my Twins. It has to be him. Had the record 12 straight hits, 12 for 12. It's actually 13 straight appearances. He got hit by a pitch. line drives, homers, power. This guy's been one of the better hitters in all of baseball since he came up at the beginning of the year. There's 11 players, Jake, in all of baseball that have hit 300, on base percentage of 350, slugging percentage of 500. He's one of them, and he's the only one that's not an all-star. So that's a fail. Maybe he gets in. We'd like to see that. Since June 1st, though, let's just take it back, a month and some change. 107 ABs, 43 hits, 12 doubles, 4 homers, 26 runs driven in. He's hitting 402 over the last 5 weeks. 450 on base percentage, 645 slugging for the 1.095. He's been a huge reason the Twins have been doing what they're doing, lengthening the lineup, and a great guy to boot. Good looking guy, wears a nice uni. Solid person. I think if you are like, hey, maybe I'm not sure if I should root for this guy, you should root for this guy.
I mean, I'll close the loop on it. Jose Miranda's big time date my daughter vibes. Like,
Yeah.
Jose Miranda comes home, he's got the cute cheeks, nice guy.
He's swaggy, but like in like a
Yeah.
clean, nice way. Yeah.
Like a polite, yeah. I'm in on that. I'm in on Puerto Rican ball players. Dude, good for him, man. I always, well, I am a ball player, but I try to get in the ball player mindset. Dude, if I was 24 years old, came up and had a 268 batting average, a 325 on base, a 751 OPS, 15 homers in 125 games, I would be like, all right, I'm going to get a step better this year. I'll be a borderline all-star, and then I'll probably be an all-star for the next decade. Jose Miranda, that was his rookie year. Following year, 40 games, doesn't hit at all. Tough feeling. Like, we did the Twins TPP. How much Jose Miranda did we talk? Not a ton, because what can you expect? For him to bounce back and now at a historic level, and the numbers are Looney Tunes. And now you're back to having a 26-year-old like cornerstone of the team.
He didn't even start the year with the team. We had some injuries that played a part in him coming up. And then when Royce Lewis was set to come back, it could have been him. They play the same position. It could have easily been him, but Julian was struggling and Miranda had been going off, so they ended up keeping Miranda up. And, last year, big shoulder injury wasn't right. It just wasn't right for him. He talked about it, feeling healthy this year, and he's been going off, man. 906 OPS on the year, 153 OPS plus, like a little bit of speed and a little bit of power. Contact is there, only striking out. What's the percentage? Only 35 times on the year. Strikeout percentage 13.3 this year. That's a career low for him. The walk percentage not great, but you're putting the ball in play, hitting it hard. That's my Corona extra player of the show.
Magnificent stuff, Trevor Goof. And I hate what I have to do now. But it is the IL update. I guess it keeps people informed. It just makes me sad. Speaking of, Colton Brewer breaks his hand after an ugly inning. 31, it's his non-pitching hand, so there was some thought behind it. It was an ugly inning. That doesn't defend it at all. But how about Luis Rengifo on a lot of teams' wish lists? He goes to the IL. Jason Hayward for the Dodgers. That might open up a couple Vargas at-bats. Dane Dunning, not sure which arm. Chris Martin, a bit of a cold play for the Sox. Austin Martin for Minnesota. He's a kid. He might be good. He's hurt. Nick Martini for Cincy. Okay, I can get through that. And returning from the IL, Camposano for San Diego. I mean, they might be saying like, hey, you can take your time, man. Higgy's got it going right now. Adam Frazier is back. Let's go. Josh Boers in the Texas bullpen. Chris Bubich for Kansas City. Feel like I haven't seen him in a minute. Kyle Harrison came back for your Giants. Edward Cabrera for Miami. Hank Hammerin Henry Davis for Pittsburgh. Kyle Mueller. And it looks like Monday, Schwarber and Snell should be coming off. I don't know if it's official, but it should be soon. It's officially time to start the week.
Awards!
You go first, Trev.
I'm giving the Fries are versatile award, and I believe that's to be one of the truer statements that's ever been echoed in eternity. First of all, who doesn't love some French fries?
A well-made
It's a short
fry.
list of people.
Yeah.
A short list of people are French fry haters, and I gotta like admit, unless they give you they mess you up like health wise, which whatever. If you just don't like French fries, I question a lot of things about you because they're so good. Now, Jake, there's a lot of ways you could ingest a French fry. You can just eat it solo, and some people put mustard on them. Some people put mayonnaise. If you're from Europe, you put mayonnaise on them. I'm a ketchup guy on them. I'll do barbecue sauce. Some people like ranch. The fact is, they're versatile. You can do, especially in Los Angeles, California, we can do carne asada fries. California burrito has fries inside of it. Steak frites is like a classic French elevated dish. Think about that. It goes with barbecue. It goes with hot dogs and hamburgers. Some people do have fries in the morning instead of hash browns, little eggs, whatever you want to do. The point is, you got curly fries, you got waffle fries, you got steak fries, skinny fries, other fries, all sorts, sweet potato fries. A lot of things you can do with fries. And they're all really, really good. Do you know what other fry is good?
What's that, Trev?
That we need to celebrate? It's David. David Fry of the Cleveland Guard Dogs. Essentially kind of coming out of nowhere this year, makes the All-Star team. I just wanted to give a little bit of recognition. I think on the Wednesday app, we're probably going to go over the All-Star selections, talk about some snubs, whatnot. This guy deserved it and is on the team this year. And all he's done, Jake, is hit 305 with a 412 on base percentage, 508 slug for the 920 OPS, 161 OPS plus. He's been a huge reason why the Guardians are at the top of the division and one of the top teams in baseball. The length and the timely hitting of their lineup has been, the length of their lineup has been in question for quite some time. The timely hitting has been there, but Fry's the guy that's helped them do it. And I mentioned how fries are versatile, French fries, that is. David Fry is also very versatile. He's played, double-digit games at catcher, at first base, at third base, in the outfield. Throw him anywhere. Just like Fries, put him anywhere. He's going to be good. A lot of stats out there. Pretty fun stuff here. Reading an article about David Fry, after being named to the All-Star game, he actually had a plan for Stephen Kwan and Will Brennan and their girlfriends to come hang out during the All-Star game. They'd have a little pool time. You know what that's like. Pool time in the summer. One thing leads to another. Just good times all over the place. Coronas flying everywhere. Bathing suits optional. But instead, he'll be traveling with us to the All-Star game. His chase rate went from 38.5% to 25% this year. So his walk rate now is in the 93rd percentile in the league. He's kind of just hit everywhere. Nothing spectacular in the minor leagues. 817 OPS. He's been better in the major leagues. He's now an 856 OPS through 124 games. Savant loves him. 95th percentile in batting run value. The expected WOBA is 82nd percentile. The launch angle sweet spot is 89%. I talked about the walk percentage. So he's kind of doing it all. He slowed down a little bit over the last month or so, but the numbers are still so good. The players voted him in, which is a nice thing to get when you're in the big leagues. But I just felt like, look, this guy's 28 years old, out of Northwestern State. The Brewers had him. Gave up on him, which is shocking to me that they did. He was a player to be named later in a trade. Cleveland scoops this guy up, and here he is performing at an all-star level. So I wanted to get some stats for him, talk about, I don't know if people know how versatile he is on the national stage. You probably heard David Fry's name, on FUEGO or, seen some highlights of him. But to be able to play all those different positions, you're talking, infield, outfield, catcher is pretty special. So Steven Vogt's got a good one on his hands, and he knows how to deploy him. Fries are versatile. David Fry, all-star.
Artwork. Well done, Trev. As I go through the all-star rosters right now, and I think Wednesday we might do a little more of that. I think David Fry is your winner on had other plans. And I think, big Aaron Judge, Vladdy, Gunnar, Jordan. A lot of these guys kind of know, that probably not going to be off days for me. We'll have our fun. Yeah, I mean, David, I don't even know who's competing with him. Matt Strahm and Hoffman out of the Phillies pen.
Relievers are so tough for a reliever if you're not a closer.
A non-closing reliever. How about that? Robert and Ranger Suarez. That's neat. Great award, Trev.
Do you think Dave Fry's like, honey, we got to return all those pineapples we brought?
You can go to the DraftKings Sportsbook right now. Get in on the action. If you haven't been there, I mean, if you've got a hunch, I had some receipts from last night that I thought a certain Boston third baseman would homer, and they had a DK boost in the Boston area, and a lot of my friends did pretty well on that. If you think it, you can pretty much get in on the action. Same game parlays, live betting, and so much more. And right now, at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code Talkin. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's code Talkin only on the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. I don't think you return the pineapples. Trev, my award, I'm going with the Lake Day Award.
Ooh.
I in the beautiful Northeast, a good lake day. I mean, I saw it on a lot of friends' IG stories. I stayed around the city, but a good lake day. You got the dock. You got a little grass on shore. Maybe got some country music going.
A boat is just a good time. Can you have a bad time on a boat?
It's tough. And the Northeast lakes, I didn't realize this. Married a Florida gal, they got gators down there. Like, it's not everywhere lake scene is the vibe. We're not
about Florida lakes.
We're not wakeboarding there. Although some Florida people do. There's nothing like a lake day. And man, there's a popular lake in the Northeast. Cooperstown. They got a big old lake up there.
Hold on 1 sec. Okay. I'm just getting ready for this. Trev,
your Milwaukee Brewers, who have been great this year. Their percent chance to make the playoffs right now, if you go on any website, is like 1,099.1 on BREF. Talked about Pat Murphy being one of the hottest guys in Milwaukee history. We talked about the number one guy on the list. I don't know if you brought up his page, and he's a friend of the program. And I know
his page open.
I know people get defensive about this. I didn't want you to, because I wanted you to guess Christian Yelich's career WAR, because I would have been under. And that's one of the big numbers.
I saw it. I also would have been under.
Guy's got an MVP in the bag. It looks like a clear career renaissance for Yelich. And hey, I know years happen quickly, and he'd have to keep going till he's 36, 37 at a high level, which is tough. There's not a ton of guys around baseball doing that. He is currently your NL batting average leader. He's got an MVP in the bag. I'm not saying it's a lock. It's definitely not even. It's probably a no. I did not realize how close Christian Yelich is to having a nice couple lake days in the beautiful Northeast. 42.2 career B-WAR. I mean, that's a couple more seasons with that MVP trophy, and who knows? Who knows what the Brewers can get into? If they have 1 October, like, how much would that change things? I know we pretend to not play that game. I think it's looking like a haul of very good. But if he brings home his third batting title, currently leading the NL in that? I don't know. I didn't even think it was in play. Today, I thought it's in play.
Only one guy's ever had 300 stolen bases, 300 homers, and a 300 batting average. Believe that was Willie Mays. Now, there are some other 300 guys that aren't in the Hall of Fame. Steve Finley being one of them. I don't think Steve Finley's in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't think so. Reggie Sanders, my guy.
Oh,
Love me some Reggie Sanders. Not in the Hall of Fame.
wrong.
But the other guys, Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, Andre the Hawk Dawson. Oh, Bobby Bonds, also not in the Hall of Fame. Sorry. Alex Rodriguez, Hall of Fame numbers, not going to be in the Hall of Fame. Carlos Beltran is possible Hall of Fame.
I think he ends up there. I think he's in a weird limbo right now.
It's going to take a lot for Yelich, but I like where your head's at. I like where your head's at a lot. He deserves a lot of love. This year he's been going off, and again, like when the Brewers need him the most, he's doing it, man. And a really good. This is what I'll say about Yelich. So you can talk about the numbers all you want. We know about the MVP. We know what he's capable on the field, but off the field, I don't know if there's a better leader in the show than Yelich, and it's not a vocal one, but just the vibe that he brings to the clubhouse, I know means a lot in Milwaukee. I've talked to people close to the situation; they'll say the same thing. And then him and Reese together. That's just talking about. Sheesh.
Those are your guys. Yeah.
It's like me and you.
Yeah. Who's who?
I'm Yelich.
Yeah, I think you're Yelich and I'm Reese.
I love Reese.
A little more grit.
I'm Yelich.
A little more grit on this side of the table.
You and Reese wear crop tops. Me and Yelich got a little bit more,
Cali boys.
Yeah.
Where's Reese from?
A little more handsome.
Okay.
I think Reese is also a Cali guy.
Really?
Went to Sac State? Where is he from?
Hey, I don't know. I know there's that the edges of the Hall of Fame can get tricky sometimes. Sometimes there's beat reporter relationships. I don't know. Yeli's numbers.
You forgot about the body issue. Guy did the body issue. He's in.
Yeah, he's in.
You won't pull that up quickly, Bieber. You won't.
940 OPS right now for Christian Yelich. 163 OPS plus. I mean, you kind of saw it happen last year where he found the on-base tool to like a top-tier degree, and now I think he's pairing the power swing with that a little bit. That, I don't know, people will probably be mad about it. It's not a click. It's just a thought exercise.
Okay. You want to guess career earnings to date right now?
To date. God, it was a big contract, wasn't it? To date, 175?
To date, only 126, but he's got another 104, which doesn't include the $6.5 million buyout of 2029. So this guy's going to be right there at 230 M's come the end of the career. I'm going to be hanging out with him a lot when he retires.
Put a couple more war years. Maybe a special October in Milwaukee, and that would change the narrative a little bit. 42 career WAR. I did not have that. Hey, everyone, thank you. God, we love you. God, we love you. Big Wednesday up, huge Friday up, and then I think we're gonna be in person, which means that starts getting physical.
Handsy.
Chris Rose. Trade up.
Chris Rose needs to keep his hands off me, okay?
Yeah. God, when he gets hot, he gets a little more handsy, so Dallas.
He gets a little ornery when he's hungry, too.
Yeah,
You gotta remember that.
I like that.
Oh, that's true.
Make sure they're snacks.
Make sure they're snacks. Bill?